Scorpio, here's the part no one says out loud. After 8-8, your radar is hotter than anyone else's, and the next 72 hours will either waste your energy or change your life. Not because a portal grants wishes like fireworks on cue, but because when the noise dies down, your nervous system stops guessing and starts knowing. If you choose trust the old way now, you pay for it all month. If you choose trust, the precise way the right people, money, and opportunities move toward you as if pulled by tide. You weren't paranoid, you were early. You saw the micro winces under the smile before the story shifted. You felt the room tense before a single word got sharp. You heard the clauses that were missing from a promise and understood exactly where it would split. That gift kept you safe and exhausted. So tonight, we do something smarter than be more trusting. We make your trust accurate. Here's the truth on the far side of 8-8. You didn't expect your trust issues aren't a wall, they're a filter. When the filter is clogged, you block love and help. When it's clean, it doesn't keep people out, it lets the right ones in at the right speed. Post-portal, your filter is at maximum resolution. That's why Tiny tells, feel loud right now. Who respects your pause without pouting? Who answers a clear question with a clear answer? Who stops testing you when you say, that's a boundary? No omens needed, just behavior. Grab a pen. Think of one person you can't fully read, friend, date, coworker, even family. Keep them in mind. In a few minutes, I'm going to give you a quiet, 72-hour calibration that costs nothing, requires no confrontation, and exposes intention without drama. Pass, fail. You won't need to threaten a breakup, stage a test, or leave passive-aggressive breadcrumbs. You'll make one small change and their response will tell you everything. I'll also hand you a 2-sentence boundary script that deepens intimacy without you shrinking an inch. And a simple integration ritual you can do tonight. No props, no theatrics that drains the static from your body, so your intuition stops screaming and starts speaking. By the end, you won't just feel better, you'll have a map. If you need proof before you trust me, you'll get it. You'll hear about a Scorpio ICU nurse who prevented a 6-figure error because she caught an inconsistency no one else noticed, and how she learned to switch off the hypervigilance once she clocked out. You'll meet a Scorpio founder who stopped giving instant access, changed the speed of her yes, and watched respect return to her team inside 2 weeks. These aren't miracles, they're mechanics. Understand this, you are not here to be easier. You are here to be clearer. Clarity is kinder than suspicion, more powerful than performance, and it doesn't require you to apologize for your depth. After 8-8, the world will try to rush you back into your old reflex, overgive. Now, regret later. Not tonight. Tonight, you stop negotiating with confusion. You stop reading vibes like tea leaves and start reading patterns like an architect. Stay with me. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how to tune your filter so precisely that the right people recognize you without you raising your voice. If they belong, they'll pass the quiet test. If they don't, you'll know before it costs you peace. The corridor is open. Let's walk it on your terms. Part 1. Your radar is real and what burns you out. There's a reason your body clocks danger before your mind has language for it. Scorpio learns early that the world runs on subtext. You don't wait for proof, you feel for pattern. That's not superstition, that's survival. Let me show you how this plays out in the real world. A few summers ago, a Scorpio ICU nurse, we'll call her Maya, finished a 12-hour night shift in a Midwestern hospital. At 4:13 a.m., she caught a tiny discrepancy on a medication pump, the dosage aligned with a standard protocol, but the patient's weight had been updated an hour earlier. No alarm, no flashing red light, just a half-beat mismatch between two numbers that should have matched. She paused, checked the chart, recalculated, and stopped what would have been a dangerous error. Her charge nurse later called it luck. Maya knew better. It wasn't luck. It was that quiet inner click you recognize as surely as your own name. But here's the part you also know too well. After the shift ended, the click didn't. She stood in her kitchen watching the microwave countdown like it might lie. She scrolled a text from someone she was dating and felt her chest tighten at a delayed reply that meant nothing. She replayed last night's jokes from a co-worker for hidden barbs that weren't there. The same radar that saved a life at 4:13 a.m. was scanning her living room at 10:07 a.m., burning fuel she didn't have. That is the cost of a gift left untuned. Your instrument doesn't shut off when the environment changes. Hypervigilance in Scorpio clothing looks responsible. It looks loyal. It looks like I've got it. It also steals sleep joy and intimacy. You can hold all the secrets in a room and still lose the one that matters most, your own peace. So let's name what your body is doing without shame or mysticism you can't use. Your radar has 3 layers: sensation, the raw data, tone, shifts; micro expressions, the pause before an answer, the pattern in a bank transaction, the fact that someone always forgets your boundary on Fridays. You don't imagine this, you perceive it. Interpretation, the story you make about the data. They're hiding something. She doesn't respect me, he's losing interest. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're early, sometimes you're importing yesterday's wound onto today's weather. Action, what you do with the story. Pull back, lean in, test, confront, stay silent, self-erase or set a standard and keep it. Most Scorpios I work with are exquisite at layer 1, fast at layer 3, and exhausted by layer 2. You sense so finely that you rush to action before you finish interpreting, and you've trained yourself to prefer self-protection over curiosity because you've paid the price of being late. No judgment here. That's a sane response to a lifetime of being told you were too much, only to learn you were exactly enough 5 weeks later when the truth finally surfaced. Here's the shift that changes everything after 8/8. Stop treating trust as one on-off switch and start treating it as 2 dials you control. Dial 1, access speed. How quickly someone moves toward your private world, your schedule, your stories, your body, your resources. Dial 2, depth. How much of your inner world they can interact with your fears, your plans, your vulnerabilities, your unedited self. When your radar is mistuned, you let these dials move together fast. Access leads to deep access, or slow access means shallow forever. When your radar is tuned, you decouple them. A person might get slower access, but normal depth once they earn it. Another might get quicker access with shallow depth until their consistency proves they can handle more. The dials move independently, always in your hands. Let's go back to Maya. At work, her access speed was immediate, life or death. Her depth was controlled, protocols, checklists, second eyes on every decision. At home, she kept the same access speed scan, everything now, and gave the wrong people deep access to her nervous system, a text bubble, a delayed reply, a half joke from a friend. Everything got through the gate at full force. No wonder she was tired. She was running an ICU inside her own kitchen. The fix isn't trust more. The fix is separate the dials. If a new dating prospect wants to FaceTime every night, your access speed dial can stay low while your depth stays warm. I like this pace for now. Let's keep our calls to twice a week so I can be present when we talk. If a coworker wants your time for a quick favor that always becomes 45 minutes, access speed drops while depth stays cordial. I'm on a deadline. Send me a bullet list and I'll confirm what I can handle. If family tries to turn your weekend into project management, access speed slows while depth remains loving. I'm off-grid Saturday. Text me what you need and I'll reply. Sunday afternoon. Notice what's missing apology. You're not punishing anyone. You're tuning an instrument for the room you're in. Here's a simple method to keep your interpretation layer from hijacking your life this week. I call it pause, name, trace. Pause when your body pings tight. Jaw, stomach. Drop the heat behind your eyes. Do nothing for 5 breaths, not 10 minutes. 5 breaths. You're giving sensation space to be sensation before it becomes a story. Name put words on the data, not the drama. He cancelled twice. She interrupted me 3 times. They avoided the direct question. Keep it courtroom simple. Trace, ask, what pattern does this belong to? Is it consistent behavior or a single event? Does it mirror an old wound? Your ex's stonewalling? Your parents' broken promises? Or is it happening with people who don't know each other? Patterns earn action. One-offs earn conversation. When you practice pause, name, trace, you stop living in the courtroom of your head and step into the lab. Labs change lives. Courtrooms drain them. I promised you we'd replace suspicion with discernment. Here's what that sounds like in American everyday language. Suspicion. You're hiding something. I can feel it. Discernment. When you cancel last minute twice in a row, I adjust how much I plan around you. If that changes, great, show me. Suspicion. You don't respect me. Discernment. You interrupted me 3 times in 5 minutes. I want a conversation, not a contest. Can you slow down and let me finish a thought? Discernment doesn't attack the person, it names the pattern and adjusts the dials. No drama, no threat, no audition, just data and a boundary. One more layer you need to hear because it's where Scorpios get trapped, overfitting threat models. When you're gifted at detecting anomalies, you can start seeing them everywhere like a metal detector so sensitive it screams at a soda tab and a wedding ring the same way. The fix isn't to dull the detector, it's to calibrate what counts. Decide in advance which anomalies matter this month. For the next 72 hours, pick 3 behaviors that are non-negotiable green flags and 3 that are yellow lights. Greens might be answers direct questions, directly respects you're not tonight without pouting, initiates repair after a bump. Yellows might be vague answers to practical questions, jokes that land as little jabs, accidental boundary crossings with a quick my bad. Everything else, note, it don't narrate it. Maya did this. In 3 days, her boyfriend at the time hit all 3 greens direct answers. Respect for space initiated repair after a minor misread, and 1 yellow he owned without defensiveness. She didn't need to call the whole thing red. She adjusted the access speed dial slightly lower for a week, kept depth steady and watched. The relationship steadied because the rules were clear and the pacing matched reality, not fear. The same week, a coworker asked for just 5 minutes 3 times and forgot her boundaries twice. Access speed dropped to email only. Depth, cordial. Energy saved, measurable. Life lesson, part 1. Your sensitivity isn't the problem. The lack of pacing is. Trust becomes toxic when speed outruns evidence. Trust becomes sacred when evidence earns speed. You don't need to be easier to love. You need to be clearer to meet. Keep the person you chose at the start in mind. In part 2, I'll show you the 3 masks of betrayal most Scorpios miss in the first 30 days and exactly how to set your dials when you see each one. Part 2, the 3 masks of betrayal you keep missing. There are 3 ways misalignment walks into a Scorpio life looking like destiny. They don't arrive as villains. They arrive as comfort, chemistry, or help. You've met them before. After 8-8, you'll spot them faster, not to harden your heart, but to pace your access so the right people can actually reach you. The first mask is speed, not romance, not affection speed. It feels like gravity. The text thread lights up before you finish your coffee. They say, I've never felt this with anyone on week 2. They want your story in 1 sitting and your weekend 4 weeks in a row. It's flattering, it's intoxicating, and then when you apply a gentle break, they call you cold. Here's the tell speed asks for exception after exception. I know you said Tuesdays are your focus days, but can we just hop on a quick call? I know you like to plan ahead, but surprise come over. There's nothing evil about eagerness. What matters is what happens when you pace. A client, let's call her Rachel, met a man who checked every box on paper. Same books, same politics, same tight sarcasm that made them both laugh. By day 10, he was suggesting a joint trip in September. She felt the old tug say yes and ride the wave, or say slow and get labeled difficult. This time, she used the dials. Access speed stayed low, depth stayed warm. She said, I like you. I move better at a steady pace. Let's keep phone calls to twice a week for now and plan one date a week so I can show up fully. He answered, Totally, I'm just excited. Then he immediately tried to stack 2 more hangouts that week since next week might be busy. The mask slipped, not evil, not dramatic, just a person who didn't respect her pacing once, stated clearly. She didn't argue, she held the dial. Over the next 10 days, he either matched it or he didn't. He didn't. The story wrote itself. The second mask is boundary testing disguised as play. It sounds like jokes that land as little cuts. It looks like forgetting the rule you set by an inch so often that the inches add up to miles. In American workplaces, it's the coworker who borrows your time because you're just so good at this. In families, it's the relative who assumes your weekend is open because you're the responsible one. In dating, it's the accidental overshare of your private moment to their friends because they were asking about you. The test isn't whether they mess up once, the test is whether they repair without making you the hall monitor. Here's where our founder comes in. Dana runs a small creative studio in Austin. Scorpio, to the bone loyal, discreet, fiercely protective of her work and people. Her operations lead started blowing past her no slack after 7 p.m. rule with tiny pings. Heads up. Quick thought. Just one question, each one stole 2 minutes and left the door open for 10 more. The first week, Dana let it slide. The second, she felt the familiar heat behind her eyes, anger at him, anger at herself. The third, she tested clarity over suspicion. One message I don't do, slack after 7. If it's urgent, text urgent. Otherwise, put it in the morning stand-up doc. I'll answer at 9. He replied, gotcha, and went quiet for 2 nights. Night. 3, ping, quick one. She didn't scold. She turned the dial, no response. Next morning, I saw your message this morning. Please use the stand-up doc so I don't miss details. Twice more, he tested. Twice more, she held the dial. Week 2 ended with a clean inbox. Week 3, he slipped once, then apologized before she replied. That's not perfection. That's a nervous system learning. Boundary testing will happen. Real alignment shows up in repair and repetition. The third mask is mirroring without substance. It's the twin flame vibe, where they love everything you love, music cities, values, your favorite diner, until you add a little friction. Mirroring without substance breaks under weight. The easy way to reveal it is a friction question, a direct, practical what would you do if. That costs them nothing, but requires thought. What would you do if your friend talked about me like that? How would you handle it if I say no to a last-minute plan? If we disagree about money on a project, what's our process? People who mirror can't hold friction. They dodge joke or give you philosophy instead of procedure. A man wrote to me about a woman who felt like a mirror. It's crazy. Same bands, same childhood town, same exact order at the ramen place. He beamed. I told him to ask one friction question when your ex wanted you to change your schedule. What did you do? She smiled and said, honestly, I don't do conflict. I just get it over with so we can be happy. Translation, compliance as peace. 2 weeks later, when he couldn't make a last-minute plan, she used the same play, agree quickly, resent privately. Her words mirrored him. Her process didn't. Mirroring without substance always cracks where process should be. How do you respond without turning every connection into a cross-examination with calm precision and paced access? When you see speed, hold steady warmth and slow the calendar. When you see boundary play, raise the standard and watch the repair. When you see mirroring, apply a little friction and listen for process, not poetry. You asked for lines that work in American life. Use these verbatim if they fit your mouth. For speed, I like where this is going. I move better at a steady pace. Let's keep our calls to twice a week for now so I can be present when we talk. If they push, I hear you're excited. Matching my pace is part of how I build trust. For boundary play, when you say just 5 minutes and it becomes 45, I adjust. Put what you need in an email and I'll confirm what I can handle. If they joke it off, I'm not kidding. Respecting my time is how we keep this easy. For mirroring, I love that we click. Here's a real-life thing. If I say, not tonight, what happens next? If they go vague, I'm looking for specifics. Walk me through what you'd actually do. Notice the posture. No apology, no courtroom speech. You're not asking permission to be clear. You're being clear and letting their response pace the relationship for you. You might be thinking, isn't this a lot? It's less than cleaning up a 3-month false start. It's less than rebuilding trust with a teammate who learned the rules only when you finally snapped. It's less than stitching yourself back together after you hand someone the keys because the chemistry felt fated. Chemistry is a spark. Character is the wiring. Sparks are cheap. Wiring is tested under load. All 3 masks melt under the same heat consistency under constraint. Anyone can be wonderful in the open field. Watch them in the narrow hallway. When you slow pace, do they stay curious or switch to pressure? When you hold a boundary, do they repair or retaliate? When you add light friction, do they show process or posture? Trust is built by the boring parts, the Tuesday nights, the no. That's respected, the plan that survives a calendar hiccup. Let's tie this back to your 72-hour window. Pick one person you're unsure about. For the next 3 days, make one small change that introduces gentle friction or clear pacing. If you usually reply in seconds, reply when you're actually free. If you usually say yes to last-minute asks, say, not tonight. Try me. Thursday. If you usually smooth over interruptions with a smile, say, hold on, I wasn't finished. Then stop. Don't explain. Don't sell it. Just observe. Their response is your data. If they match your pace, repair quickly and answer specifics with specifics, those are green lights. If they pout, press, or pivot to philosophy when you ask for process, you've seen the mask. Don't punish it. Don't diagnose it. Simply move the access dial to the setting that protects your peace and gives them a chance to meet you where you live. There's a different kind of bravery I'm asking of you here, the kind that doesn't look dramatic on camera. It looks like keeping your calendar when desire wants to delete it. It looks like letting silence do some of the talking. It looks like believing your nervous system when it says, this is moving too fast for me to be honest, and choosing honesty over adrenaline. Life lesson part 2. Intensity is not intimacy. Intimacy is what survives speed bumps. Betrayal rarely kicks down your door. It asks for just this once. Your power isn't in catching people out. It's in setting a pace where people either reveal their capacity or reveal their script. Both revelations save you time. Keep the same person in mind. In part 3, we'll step into the Scorpion Eagle Phoenix arc and build you a trust contract that turns your instincts into policy so you stop firefighting and start designing the life you can actually breathe in. Part 3, Myth to Muscle Scorpion. Eagle Phoenix. Every Scorpio knows the symbols, but most people use them like poetry instead of policy. Tonight, we're going to turn myth into muscle 3 modes. You can switch between on purpose, so trust stops being accidental. The Scorpion lives close to the ground. It knows the terrain moves at night and doesn't waste venom. In human life, Scorpion mode is your containment state. Fewer words, shorter windows of access, careful observation. It's the right mode for first impressions, new teams, fresh dating, family drama spikes, or any week your energy feels thin. The mistake isn't using Scorpion. The mistake is getting stuck there assuming everyone is a desert and every day is midnight. The Eagle rides thermals high enough to see patterns, far enough to be calm. In your life, Eagle mode is analysis, trend watching, boundary audits, choosing pace based on data, not adrenaline. It's the right mode for mid-relationship recalibration, hiring decisions, money choices, and conflict you want to handle without heat. The Phoenix burns what can't be repaired and rises with less weight. In practice, Phoenix mode is termination and rebirth, ending agreements, leaving roles, closing access. And this is the part most people miss, designing the next container, so you don't fly back into the same fire. You need all 3. You just need to choose them, not fall into them. Let me give you a clear example. A Scorpio public defender in Chicago, call him Ellis, was drowning in both wins and resentment. In court, he was a machine precise, unflappable, committed. At home, he was a fuse. Friends felt him disappear for weeks, then show up with a feast and a need to talk for hours. Dating was either intensity or ice. When we mapped his month, the pattern was obvious. He lived Scorpion at work, containment, tried to live Phoenix at home, burn it all, start over, and never touched Eagle analysis. His trust life was all sting and ash, no altitude. We changed his modes by calendar, not mood. Weeks with heavy trials, Scorpion at work, Eagle at home. That meant 1 weekly check-in with 2 friends on his books, 15 minutes each. No new romantic commitments and a clean scripted pause to anyone trying to escalate. I'm in trial. I'm keeping my circle tight. If that works for you, I'd like to keep this going at a slower pace. Weeks post-trial, Eagle at work, debrief systems, tweaks, Phoenix at home if needed, clean endings to obligations he'd overpromised, then a return to Scorpion with new contacts. 30 days later, his social life stabilized. He didn't become warmer, he became predictable, which is warmer to healthy people. Your turn. We're going to build a trust contract, 1-page plain language enforceable by you, not a manifesto, a manual. Section 1. Modes by situation. Write when X I use Scorpion, when Y I use Eagle, when Z I use Phoenix. Make it boringly specific. Scorpion, when new romance, 30 days, new coworker/project. 3 weeks, family patterns flare, my sleep drops below 6.5 hours, 2 nights in a row, or my stomach tightens before a call. Eagle, when I'm deciding money, moving roles, making a boundary change, or reviewing a conflict. Phoenix, when a boundary is broken twice after a clear repair plan. Gaslighting appears, you're imagining it after I present data, or I catch myself negotiating my non-negotiables. Section 2. Pacing policy, your 2 dials. Access speed. New people get a maximum of 2 touches per week, call, text, date, for the first 30 days. Depth topics about past trauma, finances, and family access stay closed for 60 days. I can share themes without details. Standing rule. Any pushback on pacing lowers speed, not depth. Section 3. Repair roadmap. Write the exact steps you expect when something goes off. 1. Acknowledge the event without minimizing. I interrupted you 3 times. 2. State the effect that made you feel steamrolled. 3. Offer a process change. I'll let you finish before I respond. If I slip, hold up a finger. 4. Repeat the change twice without prompting. Section 4. Exit criteria. Phoenix list. 2 or 3 clean triggers that move you to closure. Repeated boundary crossing after a repair plan. Vague answers to direct questions when stakes are real. Retaliation when you slow the pace. And specify the action access changes from calls to text/email. If repeated access closes. No debate, no post-mortem. Section 5 renewal clause. Healthy relationships need Phoenix 2, just softer. Write a 30-day review line. On the first Sunday of the month, I revisit pace and depth with the people closest to me. If the evidence says more access makes sense, we increase slowly. If not, we maintain or reduce. Sign and date it. Read it out loud. We're not romanticizing myth, we're operationalizing it. How do you switch modes in the moment without drama? Use a mode sentence. Scorpion containment. I'm going to slow this down so I can be present. Eagle analysis. Let's pause the story and look at the pattern the last 3 weeks. Phoenix termination, rebirth. I'm closing this version of us. If a new one is possible, it won't be built on exceptions. Simple language. American ears understand it. Your nervous system can say it under stress. Now, a quick ritual to help your body catch up to your mind, the shed and set. Do it tonight. It takes 5 minutes. 1. Sit feet flat. Name 3 things you're shedding aloud. I shed the habit of answering instantly. I shed apologizing for boundaries. I shed interpreting silence as danger. 2. Place your hand over your sternum. Name 3 settings you're choosing. I set my pace to steady. I set my depth to earned. I set my voice to calm clarity. 3 inhale for 4 hold for 4 exhale for 8. 5 times. Each exhale is scorpion venom you're not spending on the wrong fight. That's myth to muscle. Let me give you one more story where Phoenix looked like love, not fire. A Scorpio teacher, Marilyn, kept patching a friendship that only worked when she overfunctioned. Every time she slowed, her friend escalated surprise visits, guilt-laced jokes. I guess you're too busy for me now. Marilyn's old pattern was to retire the friendship by explosion, or to split her life, one version for the friend, one for reality. This time, she used her contract. Scorpion first reduced access warm tone. Eagle next. The last 3 weeks, I've said I'm not available after 8. You've called at 9:30 3 times. That doesn't work for me. She offered a repair text before you call. If I don't answer, try me tomorrow. The friend tried once, then pushed harder. Phoenix, I'm closing this season of our friendship. I love you. I'm not available for this dynamic. No courtroom, no counterattack, just a clean burn and room to rise. 2 months later, the friend wrote a real apology and asked for another chance. Renewal clause, let's try 1 coffee Sundays only and see. They did. It held. Phoenix didn't mean scorched earth. It meant scorched pattern. Life lesson, part 3, Scorpion protects Eagle understands. Phoenix freeze. Use myth as a menu, not a mood. When you choose your mode, you choose your peace, and you give healthy people a map to meet you. Keep your trust contract nearby. In part 4, we'll use the post-portal window as a pressure cooker on purpose, 3 tiny time-bound tests that sort real alignment from charisma in 48 to 72 hours without games or gotchas. Part 4, the post-portal pressure cooker, 48 to 72 hours. That sort everything. Everyone sells 8-8 like a fireworks show. For Scorpio, the real leverage is the quiet after. Think of the next 3 days as a pressure cooker. You lower the heat on your side and watch what rises on theirs. No games, no baiting, just tiny deliberate changes that reveal character fast. Here's how we'll run it. Pick one person you're unsure about, date. Friend, coworker, even family. Keep them in mind. You'll conduct 3 micro tests, 1 each day. They're ethical, calm, and invisible to anyone but you. The pacing test, day 1, purpose. Reveal whether they can match your speed without pouting or pressing. How reduce access speed while keeping warmth steady. What to say, choose one I like where this is going. I do better at a steady pace. Let's stick to Thursday for our catch-up so I can show up fully. I'm offline tonight. Text me what you need and I'll handle it tomorrow afternoon. I'm keeping evenings clear this week. Send the bullet points. I'll confirm what I can take. What to watch? Green flags sounds good. No guilt, no escalation plans honored. Yellow lights, supportive words, but immediate attempts to add exceptions since next week might be busy. Red flags, pressure, sulking, jokes as jabs. Queen of boundaries over here or end runs calling from a different number looping others in to get access. The clarity test, day 2. Purpose. Catch mirroring without substance. How ask one friction question that requires a concrete process answer. Use a real context. If I say no to a last-minute plan, what happens next? If a deadline slips, how do you bring it up? If a friend speaks about me like that, what would you do in the moment? What to watch? Green flags, specific steps. I'd say X, then do Y. If I slip, here's how we reset. Yellow lights. Vague values. I'm big on communication philosophy instead of procedure. Red flags. Deflection humor as escape hatch, turning the question back on you or moralizing without a plan. The boundary test, day 3. Purpose. See repair under small constraint. How name one simple boundary you can hold without adrenaline. Say it clean. I don't take calls after 7. If it's urgent, text urgent. Otherwise, I'll reply in the morning. I'm not comfortable discussing finances yet. Happy to talk timelines. Please don't share my story without asking first. What to watch? Green flags, immediate acknowledgement, behavior change, and this matters, repetition without needing reminders. Yellow lights. A single slip with quick ownership and a process change. Red flags. Minimizing, relax, pouting, retaliation. Well, then I just won't share anything either, or performative apologies without change. The 10-minute log. Use this each night. Keep it courtroom simple, no spirals. Event. What happened in one sentence? Feeling tight. Chest, jaw, heat, calm, relief. Pattern, speed. Boundary, play. Mirroring, response, which dial you, moved, access speed, depth. Outcome in 24H. Matched, pace, repaired, dodged. Decision, maintain, increase or reduce access next week. Why this works in America right now. People are overloaded and reveal their priorities fast when you slow the pace. In US work and dating cultures, consistency under small constraints is the truest metric. Anyone can be amazing in the open field. The hallway tells the truth. These micro tests are that hallway. What if they pass, increase access speed 1 notch, not 5? Keep depth earned. Name it so healthy people know they're doing it right. I appreciate how you respected my pace and answered directly. That builds trust for me. You're reinforcing the wiring you want. What if they wobble? Yellow lights are normal. Offer one repair path. This works for me. Text before calling, and if I don't reply, try me tomorrow. If we do that twice in a row, we're good. Then watch repetition, not promises. What if they fail? No drama, no courtroom speech. Reduce access and keep tone warm. I'm going to keep communication to email for now. This pace doesn't work for me, so I'm stepping back. If our cadence changes later, we can revisit. If it's personal, I'm not available for this dynamic. I wish you well. That's Phoenix without scorched earth. The weekend plan, put this on your calendar. Friday night, run the pacing test. Set the expectation, close the laptop. Saturday afternoon, ask the clarity question. Log the answer. Do not explain. Sunday evening, state the boundary. Power down. Monday, make your decision based on evidence, not adrenaline. Maintain, increase, or reduce access. A 5-minute body reset. After each test, stand, feet flat. Inhale, 4 hold, 4. Exhale, 8, 5 rounds. On each exhale, think I choose pace. Then place a hand on your sternum and say 3 lines, I trust my read. I set the speed. I let behavior speak. 2 quick stories. The mechanic in motion, a New York paramedic Scorpio, ran the pacing test with a new partner who loved last-minute invites. I'm off the grid after shift. Thursday's our night. He pushed twice. She didn't argue. By week's end, he matched pace or missed out. Chemistry stayed, respect arrived. A Seattle project manager, Scorpio, used the clarity test with a charismatic contractor. If we disagree about budget, what's our process? He gave values, not steps. She asked once more, walk me through it. He deflected. She lowered access to weekly updates. 2 weeks later, a real conflict hit another team. He melted. Decision confirmed without a fight. Life lesson part 4. Trust isn't built by declarations. It's built by consistency under small constraints. After 8-8, your edge is calm pacing and clean questions. You're not testing people to catch them. You're setting conditions where the right ones can find you and the wrong ones exit early before they cost you sleep. Keep your log. In part 5, we'll talk about love without self-deletion, how to let intimacy deepen while your sovereignty stays intact, including a 2-sentence script that turns too intense into thank you for being clear. Part 5. Love without self-deletion, Scorpio. Let's talk about the place most people demand you soften love. You've been told 1,000 ways to be easier. Smile more. Answer faster. Share everything now or they'll lose interest. You've tried pieces of that, and it always costs the same thing. You disappear a little. Tonight, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to build intimacy that keeps you in the room present, unshrunk, unmasked, so the love that stays is love that can hold you. Picture this. Erin meets Noah at a friend's backyard birthday in Portland. She likes him immediately, dry humor, wide attention. The kind of man who notices a scared dog before he notices his phone. First week is clean. 1 coffee, 1 walk, 1 goodnight call that ends when she says she's tired. Week 2, the pace tilts. 3 late-night FaceTimes in a row. Swing by, it'll be fun. Jokes about how she's mysterious because she won't open her entire childhood on call 3. It's not toxic, it's American dating speed. And for a Scorpio speed without structure, frays the nervous system faster than heartbreak. Erin feels the telltale heat behind the eyes. Old her would exit with a sting or stay and blur. New her has dials. She texts before their next call, I like where this is going and I build better at a steady pace. Let's do 1 phone call midweek and a long Saturday walk, no late nights for me this week so I can show up fully. He replies with a heart and a joke. Then he tries to layer on a Friday quick call. She doesn't litigate. She holds the dial. Saturday works. Looking forward. Pace slows. Chemistry doesn't die. What rises instead is the thing that actually makes Scorpio relax, respect that repeats. Here's the shift most people never give you permission to make. Intimacy is not giving more, it's giving truer at a speed that keeps your honesty intact. You don't have to hand over the keys to prove you don't have secrets. You don't have to play low maintenance to prove you're not dramatic. You need 1 tool more than any other clear process for closeness. That starts with a 2-sentence script that turns too intense into thank you for being clear. Use it as is. I'm not intense, I'm clear. If clarity feels fast, let's slow the pace so we can keep the honesty. 2 sentences. American ears can hear it. Your system can say it without shaking. Notice what it promises and what it doesn't. You won't dim your depth, but you're willing to adjust speed. That's intimacy without self-deletion. It invites the right ones to stay curious instead of demanding access. When the person in front of you is viable, this is what healthy momentum looks like for a Scorpio body. You make one small reveal and they protect it. You state one small boundary and they follow it without needing a lecture. You need one night off and they don't punish the pause. You try a closer step and they treat it as a gift, not as entitlement to the next step. That sequence is how your nervous system learns. It's safe to bring more of me. Noah and Erin meet Saturday. He shows up on time and with snacks she actually eats because he listened. Mid-walk, she says, "I don't talk about my family in detail early. Themes are fine, not the files." He doesn't pry. He doesn't perform empathy. He asks one practical question: what's a good pace for you? She gives him a real answer. One date a week for now, and we text in daylight hours. If we keep feeling solid, I'll open more at 30 days. Most people talk values. He offers procedure. Her body does something rare for week 2, it de-arms. They keep walking. If you've been told your needs are a lot, here's your antidote. Make them repeatable. Scorpio intimacy thrives on rituals, small, boring things that keep depth steady. Try these 3 exactly this simple. The check-in that doesn't feel like a performance. What worked this week? What didn't? What's one tiny change? We'll try next week. 5 minutes standing not on the couch where it mutates into a 3-hour autopsy. The evening close that prevents spirals. Last call is 9:30. If we're mid-story, we bookmark it. Pick this up tomorrow at 6. Sleep is not a luxury for you. It's the guardrail that keeps your intuition accurate instead of anxious. The repair that teaches your body to trust. When we bump, we name it once, make one change, and repeat the new behavior twice without prompting. You're not asking for groveling, you're training consistency. Now, what happens when the other person hits a place you used to hide, like money jealousy or your need for solitude? You don't over-explain. You tie your truth to a shared benefit. That's how you avoid sounding like you're handing down rules. Say you need Sundays alone. Old you long apology, and I hope they don't call you selfish. New you, I keep Sundays offline so I can be present the rest of the week. If we plan Saturdays, you get my best. 2 lines, mutual benefit. Sovereignty becomes generosity in practice. Or the classic, you're hard to read. Old you, oversharing to prove you're safe. New you, I'm private by default and transparent by choice. Ask me a direct question and I'll give you a direct answer. Then do it once. Teach them the code. Directness gets gold. Fishing gets fog. What about the moment when your depth collides with their speed? That's where couples either create fusion, you vanish, or devotion, you're held. Fusion says, I'll speed up to keep you. Devotion says, I'll slow down to meet you. Use the 2-sentence boundary that deepens intimacy. I want closeness, and I keep it when we move at a steady pace. Match my pace this month, and I'll open more next month. It's a promise and a policy. A person ready to love you will hear it as an invitation, not a test. A quick story where this saved a relationship instead of ending it. Dana, the Austin founder you met earlier, started seeing someone who genuinely liked her but lived on constant contact. He equated text all day with care. She equated space to work with sanity. Instead of ghosting or grinding her teeth, she chose devotion over fusion. My phone goes dark from 11 to 4. It protects my focus so I can bring you attention at night. If you match that, we'll both be happier. He slipped the first week. She didn't scold, she didn't cave. She sent one line at 4:05. Try again tomorrow. Week 2, he matched. Week 3, he said it first. Phone goes dark at 11. Call you tonight. Her body learned something new. Love that adjusts to your settings isn't love you have to survive. Here's the part that's going to feel radical if you were taught to earn affection by shrinking your intensity is the on-ramp for the right person. It's not a hazard to be flagged. When you are clear instead of careful, you force counterfeits to eject and invite the rare few who are hungry for depth to step forward. You won't have to sell your value, your boundaries will broadcast it. If you're already partnered, none of this is lost on you. You know the rhythm. 3 great weeks, 1 week where your body wants to run. That's your signal to redo the pacing talk without accusation. I'm feeling the tempo speeding up past my honesty. Let's go back to 2 calls on weekdays and 1 long Saturday. I'll bring a story I haven't shared yet. See it. Pace and gift together. You slow the car and hand them a better view. One last edge case when someone says, "You're asking for too much too soon." Sometimes they're right because you feel close faster than you are close. That's not shameful. It's a Scorpio side effect you read of essence outruns evidence. The fix isn't to distrust your essence, it's to let evidence catch up before you grant deeper access. When you feel the old urge to cannonball into closeness, give yourself a line. This feels real. I'll let 30 days prove it. Calendar, not chemistry, keeps you honest with yourself. Life lesson, part 5. Depth without pacing is self-erasure. Pacing without depth is a performance. Real love for a Scorpio is the intersection where your clarity is welcomed, your boundaries are repeated back to you in behavior, and your nervous system no longer has to live like a guard dog. Don't dim to be loved. Tune so you can stay while you're loved. Keep the person you've been tracking in mind. In part 6, we'll move from heart to money and power, the quiet room, where Scorpios print peace, how to run a 1-week audit that shows you exactly who respects your resources and who only respects your availability. Part 6, money, power, and the quiet room. Let's walk into the room where Scorpio peace prints itself, quietly, profitably, without apology. I call it the quiet room, the protected space in your calendar, your bank account, and your attention where you think clearly and nobody tugs on you. When this room exists, you don't chase money or validation. They gravitate because your signal is undistorted. When it doesn't, you bleed cash and time through quick favors, tiny edits, and can you just... Most Scorpios don't lose power in big betrayals. They lose it in micro leaks. 10 minutes here, a quick review there. A comped lunch that becomes unpaid consulting, a weekend emergency that only exists because you've always been available. After 8-8, your edge is not intensity, it's infrastructure. We're going to build it now. The quiet room has 3 locks, time blocks of deep work and genuine rest that do not move for charm guilt or urgent but not important. Money clean terms, how access is priced when it's paid, what's included, what isn't. Attention, who gets immediate response, who gets delayed response, and who gets a weekly batch. You control the keys with 2 dials you already know, access speed and depth applied to resources. A story from Dallas to make this real. Luis is a Scorpio contractor, high-end residential remodels. His gift is vision. He sees structure under drywall the way you see motive under pleasantries. He also used to hemorrhage margins because he helped clients in between jobs, free design tweaks, late-night texts, site hops just to take a look. One August, he ran the silent week audit I'm about to give you. Result, he billed exactly the same hours, but he took home 23% more in profit and slept. Here's the audit. Do it for 7 days. It sorts who respects your resources from who respects your availability. 1. Set the room 10 minutes, Sunday night. Choose 2 deep work windows on weekdays, 90 minutes each, and 1 rest window on the weekend, 4 hours. Put them on your calendar as booked. Write a 1-line auto reply for those windows. I'm in a deep focus block. I'll respond after time. If urgent, text urgent. 2. Name the gate, Monday morning. Send one short message to your usual askers, clients, team, family. Quick heads up, I'm tightening my focus windows this week so I can deliver at a higher level. If you need me, email with a clear subject and deadline. I'll batch replies at times. If it's urgent, text urgent, and I'll triage. 3. Hold the line all week. During deep work windows, no replies, no peaks. Outside those windows, batch responses at your set times, not milliseconds after pings. 4. Log the behavior 5 minutes each night. Who respected the window without pouting? Who tried end runs since you didn't answer Slack? I called your personal. Who got clearer with their requests when you required clarity? Who made you pay for being less available? 5 score and sort. Sunday. Green matched your structure clearer. Asks no guilt. Maintain or increase access speed next week, and if relevant, raise rate or scope. Yellow 1. Slip quick repair. Keep access speed steady. Ask for their process in writing. Red pressure. Pouting escalation or chaos that mysteriously always becomes your problem. Reduce access, and if business, move to prepaid scoped work only. Luis did this. One client who'd been amazing revealed red on day 2, last-minute demands. We'll square it up later, and texts at 10:58 p.m. Just one quick measurement. He didn't fight. He moved the dial. I'm moving you to my Thursday window. Send a consolidated list by noon Wednesday. The client balked. Luis sent a micro contract for all out-of-scope items at a fixed hourly rate, prepaid. The client either paid or waited. He paid once, pushed again, then left. Luis didn't bleed. 2 green clients, meanwhile, loved the clarity and signed longer retainers. The numbers didn't lie. Let's translate this to salaried work and personal life. Salaried US workplace manager, or IC, email line for scope creep. To keep this on schedule, I'm trading X for Y. If we want both, I'll need a new deadline or an extra set of hands. Which do you prefer? Slack, Tush, Teams, line for quick question culture. I'm in focus mode. 10:11, 30 and 2:3:30. Drop questions in the thread and I'll batch a single response after each block. Meeting boundary that doesn't sound combative. Can we convert this to a doc first? If we still need a call after comments, I'm in at 3 p.m. or Friday morning. Personal life, family, friends. Weekend guardrail without guilt. I budget Saturdays to reset so I can be present the rest of the week. Text me what you need. I'll reply Sunday after 4. Money clarity. When generosity gets murky, I'm happy to help with my time. If you want me to do the design piece that's my paid lane, here's a friendly rate and a clean scope. 2 things to notice in all these lines: they're procedural and polite. Scorpio power doesn't need volume, it needs policy. The most profitable habit you can build after 8/8 is the access ledger, a 1-page snapshot that makes invisible drains visible. Make 3 columns and fill them once a week. Name, role, client, boss. Sibling, friend, vendor, typical ask, time, money, attention. Net effect after 7 days, energized, neutral, drained. Anything that lands drained 2 weeks in a row moves down a tier of access. Simple, boring, strong. Speaking of tiers, here's a proximity model that will save you thousands of dollars and hours. Tier 1 inner circle. Access speed fast, depth high. Expectation, they protect your quiet room with you. Signal, they repeat your boundaries back to you in behavior, not compliments. Tier 2, work allies. Solid friends. Access speed scheduled. Depth moderate. Expectation clear, asks consistent follow-through. Signal plans survive calendar hiccups without guilt grenades. Tier 3, friendly acquaintances. Access speed slow, depth light. Expectation bursts of connection, no obligations. Signal, you can say not this week without a TED Talk. Tier 4, unknown, unproven. Access speed event-based, depth none. Expectation, they earn their way up by handling small constraints well. You will feel the old tug to bump someone up a tier because chemistry is high or history is long. Don't. Evidence earns tiers, not stories. A quick second story, Atlanta salaried life. Talia Scorpio, senior PM at a SaaS company. Brilliant, trusted, and always the firefighter. She started the silent week audit after realizing she hadn't had a real lunch in months. Within 3 days, she discovered that 2 colleagues created emergencies every time she blocked focus time. She didn't report them. She published process, new rule for our pod. Bugs triage in the tracker only. Slack urgent means P0 with ticket link. If I'm in a deep work block, the backup is Alex. If both of us are blocked, it's not a P0. Emergencies dropped by 60%. She got her lunches back. Her VP asked why her output jumped. I stopped donating my quiet room. Raise incoming. Now, rates and raises, 2 lines that actually work in the US. Freelance/consulting rate lift. I'm updating my 2025 rate card to reflect the level of depth and responsiveness you've come to expect. Your new rate is X effective date. If you'd like to lock current terms for 3 months, I can offer a prepay option through date. Salaried compensation talk. In the last 2 quarters, our result metric. To keep delivering at this level, I've rebuilt my process and upped team throughput. I want to talk about aligning my compensation with the scope I'm carrying. What would the path to number or band look like this cycle? You don't have to swing for the fences, you have to be specific. Scorpio, specificity is currency. Finally, a 5-minute money and power reset you can do tonight. Write the 3 most common drains of your week time money attention. For each, choose 1 lock time, money, attention, you'll change for the next 7 days. Script 1 sentence you'll use to enforce it. Put the sentence somewhere you'll actually see it. Calendar, phone note, sticky on the laptop. Tell 1 person who has your back what you're doing so they mirror the behavior when you wobble. You will be tempted to think this is small. It is not. Scorpio doesn't need 10 new habits. You need 1 tight container. You keep long enough for your body to learn that money and peace are not in competition. In that container, power stops being a performance and becomes the background hum of a life that fits you. Life lesson part 6. Money respects structure. Power respects pacings. When you protect your quiet room, you don't become harder, you become clearer. And clarity is the most generous thing you can offer the people who truly align with you. Ready for part 7? It's the 72-hour experiment, step-by-step, printable style instructions you can run this weekend to calibrate trust across digital, social, and intimate settings without a single game. Part 7, the 72-hour trust calibration. Digital, social, intimate. This is the weekend lab you can actually run. 3 tiny moves in 3 different arenas: your phone, your people, your heart. No games, no theatrics, no baitings. You will not test anyone. You will tune yourself and let behavior answer. Before you begin, pick 1 person you're unsure about. Keep them in mind all 3 days. Grab a notebook. Set a recurring reminder titled Calibration Log 10 minutes. Day 1. Digital Friday night, Saturday morning goal. See who respects your availability without guilt or end runs. What you do, set your phone to focus from 900 p.m. 90 a.m. Put this line in your status or auto reply. Heads up off the grid tonight, back at 9 a.m. If urgent, text urgent. What you watch, green sounds. Good, no extra pings, no triangulating through other apps. Yellow on ping, then silence. Next day brings a clear, concise ask. Red pressure. Why so intense guilt? Guess I don't matter or escalation, DMs alternate numbers. Your move after green. Increase access speed 1 notch next week. Faster reply window or 1 extra planned touch. Yellow. Hold pace. Ask for process. Best way to reach me is daytime text with one clear ask. Red, reduce access, keep tone warm. I'm keeping comms to email for now so I can focus. Log template, 3 lines, no spirals. Event, focus mode, 9P9A, X messaged Y times. Signal, green, yellow, red, decision, maintain, increase. Reduce access next week. Day 2, social Saturday afternoon. Night, goal reveal, mirroring versus substance in a low-stakes group setting. What you do: say yes to one plan with clear stop, e.g., 4-6 p.m. Ask one friction question that requires specifics. If we double book by accident, how do you want to handle it? If someone talks over me, what would you do in the moment? What you watch: green, concrete steps. If that happens, I'll do X then Y. Yellow, values without procedure. I value communication. Red, deflection, jokes as escape, turning it back on you. Your move after. Green, name it, reward the wiring. Thanks for answering specifically, that builds trust for me. Yellow, ask once for process. Walk me through what you'd actually do. Red, narrow the lane, group only contact for now. No one-on-one decisions. Log template, event group hang 4-6. Asked friction Q, answer ishki or Signal G or Y or R. Decision depth stays, slows, closes. Day 3, intimate Sunday evening. Goal practice, closeness without self-deletion. What you do: offer one truth and one pace together. Truth. Don't share family details early. Themes are fine, not the files. Pace. Let's do one weeknight call and a Saturday plan. I show up better that way. Use the 2-sentence boundary if needed. I'm not intense, I'm clear. If clarity feels fast, let's slow the pace so we can keep the honesty. What you watch: green. They protect your truth, match your pace, and don't ask for exceptions. Yellow, one wobble with quick ownership and a changed behavior. Red, pouting, retaliation, or compromise that is actually your surrender. Your move after. Green, increase depth a notch next week. Share one more layer. Keep speed steady. Yellow, repeat the boundary once. Require 2 repetitions of the new behavior. Red, phoenix. I'm not available for this dynamic. I'm stepping back. Warm tone, clean exit. Log template, event. Shared truth plus pace. Response ich os euch. Signal G Y R R. Decision depth +1. Hold close. The tiny decision tree, use this like a pocket card. Did they match your pace? Yes. Ask one practical question. If specific, green. No. Reduce access speed. Watch 2 cycles. If pressure repeats, red. Did they answer specifics with specifics? Yes. Offer 1 more inch of depth. No. Ask once more for process. Dodge twice equals yellow, red. Did they repair after a small boundary bump? Yes. Keep them in the lane. Trust grows by repetition. No lower access. If retaliation appears, exit. 5-minute body reset after each day. Stand. Inhale. 4, hold, 4, exhale. 5 rounds. Hand to sternum. Say, I trust my read. I set the speed. I let behavior speak. What success looks like on Monday. You aren't guessing, you have entries. 1 person moved up a notch, earned, not imagined. 1 person stayed, lateral needs process or poetry. 1 person moved down or out, peace recovered before the mess. What to tell them? American plain speak. Up a notch, I appreciate how you matched my pace and answered directly. That works for me. Lateral. Let's keep this cadence. Specifics help me show up. Down, I'm simplifying. I'll be less available, email works best. If you're partnered, run the 72-hour calibration together as a tune-up, not a trap. Shared plan. 2 weeknights off phone. Saturday long block together, 1 friction question at dinner, 1 boundary we both repeat twice without prompting. This isn't stinginess, it's maintenance. If you're single, aim for 1 green, 1 yellow, 1 red across your network. Trust the data, not the dopamine. Greens earn invitations. Yellows earn patience with structure. Reds earn the door, no courtroom speech. Life lesson, part 7. Trust doesn't require X-ray vision. It requires conditions that make truth obvious. When you pace your access, ask for process, and watch repair people reveal themselves quickly without you losing sleep or dignity. Ready for the conclusion. I'll tie all 7 parts into a clean, memorable recap with practical next steps and a closing that invites your US audience to stay for the series on the path to Buddha wisdom. Conclusion, integration, and next steps. Scorpio, look at what you just did. You took a story the world uses to shame you, trust issues, and turned it into calibrated power. You learned to separate speed from depth, to watch process instead of poetry, to let repair mean more than apology. You stopped chasing omens and started reading behavior. That is the corridor after 8-8, not fireworks, but a clean hallway where truth echoes clearly. Here's the spine of everything we built tonight. In plain language, you can live. Your sensitivity is radar, not a wound. Trust is a key ring, not a single switch. Love is devotion at a steady pace, not fusion at any cost. Money and power gather in your quiet room, not in public noise. Alignment is proven by consistency under small constraints. If at any point you feel the old heat behind your eyes urge to disappear, urge to sting, come back to the tools that are now yours, the 2 dials, access speed and depth, the pause name trace method, the Scorpion Eagle Phoenix modes, the 48 to 72 hour pressure cooker, the silent week audit, and the 1-page trust contract. None of this requires permission. All of it protects your peace. Let's tighten it into a Monday morning map you can actually use. Tonight, do shed and set for 5 minutes. Shed 3 habits that drain you. Set 3 states that keep you. Sleep like someone whose intuition works best when rested. Weekend run, the 72-hour calibration digital social intimate. Log the results without drama. Let behavior speak. Next week, enforce 1 quiet room, lock time money, or attention. Publish a tiny policy that makes your life easier to respect. Next month, read your trust contract out loud on the first Sunday. If evidence has earned more access, increase 1 notch. If not, hold or reduce, no courtroom, no apology. And if you forget everything except 1 sentence, let it be this: evidence earns speed. Before we part, take 1 breath with me. Inhale, 4 hold, 4, exhale, 8. Place your hand on your sternum and say this out loud just once. I trust my read, I set the speed, I let behavior speak, I keep my depth. That is not a slogan, that is a policy. The people who belong in your life will recognize it as a door, not a wall. They will pace with you without grabbing your arm. They will answer specific questions with specific answers. They will repair without being forced to. And the ones who can't, you will not need to make them villains. You will simply give them a smaller key or none at all. If what we did tonight steadied you, stay with me. This is part of a long-form series built for Americans who want depth story and things they can do this week, not just ideas that sound pretty. On the next episode, we're going to take the Phoenix 1 step further: how to end a pattern without burning the relationship, and how to reopen a door safely when someone truly changes. Until then, run your experiment and tell me what the data said. Did someone match your pace without prompting? Did a friction question reveal substance or a script? Did a boundary create repair or retaliation? Share your 3-line log in the comments. Your evidence teaches this community how real alignment behaves in the wild. If you want more of this exact kind of clarity, research-backed, spiritually honest, no fluff, subscribe to The Path to Buddha Wisdom. I'm here every week with long-form Scorpio guides that respect your intelligence and protect your peace. Like the video if it moved you. Share it with the one friend who's ready to stop negotiating with confusion. And if you're new, welcome. You weren't paranoid, you were early. The corridor is open. Walk it on your terms.